From a legal perspective, that's kind of been our ethos, is like, let's look at society's problems and let's figure out how the law fits in. How can we help, start like really hammering away at some of these issues? And so it's all part of the same thing, but it's just so important. It's just so important to realize that, when you have these like legal problems that you hear of, they're not just isolated incidents. Right? There really are. There's systemic.
If it's happened to one, it's happened to
exactly.
It's sort of like you're an advocate and also a lawyer at the same time, because a lot of what you're doing is advocating for populations and genders that don't have the same access. How are you applying that across the board? Like, do you feel like you're advocating because you have to? You probably have to teach a lot of people what you're doing and why it is a problem. Because people, if they're not hearing the 8% or they're not hearing, like, are we doing anything about it in the hospitals, even though we know these stats, or does it take lawsuits to change it?
The law plays a role. Okay, I think the law is a change-making tool, but it's not a panacea. It's not the only thing that is going to make change. We talk a lot about these issues in different contexts. So we're really involved in the medical legal community. We speak at conferences all the time. We're writing about these issues a lot. We do whatever we can to sort of raise the issues in a context that's not just purely legal. I think the law is important. Obviously, I think that I've devoted my career to it. So I do think it is important. The medical system, rather, can work with the legal system. Right now, we're seeing this, I sort of call it the bifurcated system. So I say, like, the fact that we have to separately sue doctors and separately sue hospitals, and then there's always 10 lawyers in the room, like pointing fingers at each other, that's not helpful.
No.
Because what we do know about how these events happen, like these bad outcomes happen, is that it's almost never because of one thing. Right? It's exactly. We're not experiencing healthcare the way that we used to, which is like, you used to be able to pick your doctor. You could like go to a hospital and be like, I want that person, this, right? And everything was very isolated. Now, because of increases in population, because the provinces have taken over since the 80s, we have team-based healthcare, and that's a good thing. Team-based healthcare, we know from research, is a good thing. It increases quality and it reduces, frankly, these types of errors. But the errors still do happen, and when they happen, you should be able to prove them from a legal perspective based on how they happen, which is team-based, right? It's collective failure. Our current system doesn't really let us do that because we have to point fingers individually. And so the conversations that are happening inside the context of these lawsuits are often not reflective of what actually happened. And that's a problem. So we've done some advocacy on trying to figure out how to change that and move to what we call like an enterprise model liability, which is where the hospital, like the institution that is, governing everything should be principally responsible.
Right.
Yeah. And it like makes
it's like the
common
principal.
sense.
It's like you're the principal.
Exactly.
You're responsible for everyone underneath the roof.
There's lots of resistance to this idea, and I'm not sure where we're going to get with it, but I think having the conversations is really important, and pointing out like, hey guys, the legal system has the capacity to help. Like, we know a lot about how these errors happen because we are the ones who hear the stories.